Shivaji had a fighting navy, and if Shivaji had not had this navy, we would have been subjugated by Portuguese and British 100 years earlier, because these navies fought Portuguese and British for a long time. And Kanhoji Angre was their admiral, and Indian Navy has named one of their ships by the name INS Angre in Bombay in his memory. Now, this aircraft carrier is in service today. This is the first aircraft carrier built by the Indian Navy. Today, we are building the most advanced ships. None of the ships are coming from abroad. When I joined the Navy, we had all British ships. Then the Russian ships started coming. Today, no ship comes from abroad. All ships are made in India. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from the Indian Navy, so I'll be talking about the metallurgical aspect of shipbuilding. The Indian shipbuilding today is fairly advanced. We are the only country after USA, Russia, China, Britain, and France who manufacture their own submarines and own aircraft carriers. So our shipbuilding country is fairly advanced, and we consume thousands and thousands of specialty steels every year. I'll rush through the history of the Indian shipbuilding before I come to the modern part. Uh, Indian shipbuilding industry is as old as the Harappan civilization, that is 5,000 years from now in past. The excavation at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa have proved that they had the trade with Mesopotamia in those days, 5,000 years back. They also had the repair facility for ships because a dry dock has been discovered in Gujarat at city of Lothal. Was the route from Indus Valley civilization to Mesopotamia, the trade route. Now, the location of Lothal, you can see, it is on the mouth of a river when the river meets the sea. And the ships used to come here for repairs and for trade. This is an artist's view of the Lothal shipyard where the ships used to be repaired and berthed. Coming to the Vedic age, the Ramayana Ayodhya Kand has got description of 500 boats loaded with hundreds of soldiers and hundreds of oarsmen to drive it. Even Mahabharata has a reference for sailboats. Coming to the Nanda and Maurya empires, these empires had trades and had a fighting navy, and the Chandragupta and Ashoka had sea trade flourishing, and Ashoka even sent his son and daughter to Sri Lanka for the spread of Buddhism. After that, the Satavahana Empire had trade with Romans. The trade during Satavahana Empire expanded so much that the Romans were run out of their gold. And this is how the India became the golden bird. See the sea routes right from India to Far East and towards the Rome. Coming to the Gupta dynasty, this was a time where we had our astronomers, Aryabhat and Varamihir, and they mastered the art of oceanic navigation by stars because they accurately mapped the stars' positions. During the Gupta Empire, you can see the expansion of sea trade going right up to China through Java, Sumatra, Indonesia, Malaysia, and this is how the culture of India went to these places. Then the southern dynasty were no less. The Chola Empire, the Chera Empire, the Pandyas, they had extensive sea trade with Far East. And these were the empires who built those great temples in these places and took the Indian culture to them. Then Shivaji had a fighting navy. And if Shivaji had not had this navy, we would have been subjugated by Portuguese and British 100 years earlier because these navies fought Portuguese and British for a long time. And Kanhoji Angre was their admiral, and Indian Navy has named one of their ships by the name INS Angre in Bombay in his memory. Now, another chapter of Indian maritime history was written in 71 war, when in war with Pakistan in Arabian Sea, our missile attack was so furious that Pakistan had to withdraw all their ships in their harbor. No ship was left in the sea because the ships at sea were sunk by missiles or were damaged beyond repairs. So that was the unanimous victory of India. I was part of the ship. I was part of this battle. Uh, And I was a young lieutenant of 22 years at that time. That was 1971. Young left joined Navy only 3 years ago. This is the kind of missile boats that fired the missiles on Pakistan. And even on Karachi harbor, they attacked, and Karachi refinery was burning, it was ablaze for 10 days. Ancient art of shipbuilding was the best in the world in India. Even when the British came, they said that the Indians are building ships which even the British cannot build. And they learned a lot of things from Indians. But the Indian shipbuilding industry was killed by British because they made discriminatory laws. They said that any cargo to England will go only by the ship owned by British and not by Indians. They made such discriminatory laws that the shipbuilding industry of India, which was so good, was entirely killed. Coming to the modern shipbuilding industry, after independence, the shipbuilding industry has again picked up. And today, as I said, we are the only country after those 5 advanced nations who build our own submarines. This is a submarine built at Majgaon Dock. I was at this yard building ships and submarines. The aircraft carrier Vikrant, recently commissioned last year, it is a 45,000-ton vessel and has used 30,000 tons of specialty DMR steel, which has been supplied by indigenously by Steel Authority of India. This is an import substitution product. If they had not done the research into this, this would have been imported. 30,000 tons of steel coming from abroad, you can imagine what will happen. So DMRL, yes, it is called the DMR steel, a special DMR steel. Now, this aircraft carrier is in service today. This is the first aircraft carrier built by the Indian Navy. Today, we are building the most advanced ships. None of the ships are coming from abroad. When I joined the Navy, we had all British ships. Then the Russian ships started coming. Today, no ship comes from abroad. All ships are made in India. This is a ship made in Majgaon Dock. And the other shipyards, the Goa shipyard, the Vishakhapatnam shipyard, the Garden Reach shipyard, they also build warships as well as merchant ships. Today, our shipbuilding industry is fairly advanced. Now, what about the future? What will we need in future? The ships will need to get faster and faster because faster a ship is, more performance wise it's better, because if it's a alone hunter it needs high speed. If it is hunting submarine it needs high speed. If it is supporting an aircraft carrier it needs high speed. So we will need metals that are lighter, because the lighter the ship, more is the speed with same power. And the research needs to be done in lighter material with higher strength. Russians are very good at it. Russian ships are far lighter. They are using metals and alloys which are lighter. Russians have overtaken British in this technology. Also, the sea environment is corrosive, underwater as well as over water. So you need these metals with corrosion resistance. Now, not only the ships, the weapons of the future will also demand better materials. They will demand metals which are high strength as well as stable at high temperatures, because the missiles engines will be stronger. The missiles will have the higher speeds and they will have to bear that high temperature. Now, new metals need to come up. Missile speeds will always go up. If they are doing 10 marks, tomorrow they will do 20 marks, because faster a missile, more difficult it is to shoot it down, because you need a missile faster than that. So whosoever advances in this technology will be the winner. Today, you don't have to see the enemy to destroy him. You have to fire a faster missile so that it can kill him before his missile comes and destroys your missile. So here you will need material. This is our BrahMos. This has been installed on the Indian Navy ships. And today we have Arihant submarine, which is a ballistic missile submarine. So the ships and weapons both will demand higher speeds and better metals. Thank you.